Okay, so let's get started. And why is this not? Okay, that's interesting. Well, we're just going to roll with this not being in PowerPoint mode and go through the slides. But I am happy that you're here and I'm happy that you can see this. So what we're going to talk about for the next several minutes is the services that we provide for academic support and mentoring at UMKC. And I'm hoping that you learn more and that you also realize that UMKC has a lot to offer and that will be maybe a helpful in your decision to come to UMKC. So I'm going to start with a question. I know this is going to be very interactive. If you could put into the chat, just why do you think that students would need or even why they would want academic support in college? If you would just throw that into the chat when you have a response, I would really appreciate seeing that. All right, give me a couple answers here. Ooh, Clarice, great point. High school's a little different than college. So in my experience, not just personally, but with students, high school tends to kind of walk you through, whereas college kind of expects you're gonna figure things out. So yes, studying might be different. What other answers? Abigail or Abby, just to be able to have the help. Right, so you're gonna need to study anyway. Why would you want to do that by yourself? You could study with other folks. You could study with experts in their area, those peers who've already been there, done that, and can help guide you. Yeah. So yeah, things can be difficult. So you might need help understanding something. Or we like to talk about when our tutoring services that even if you feel like you understand something, having the opportunity to talk through that with someone who does know and say, okay, here, I just want to clarify, like, am I getting this? And just talking it through is a good idea. So excellent. High school different from college. Excellent. Okay, those are some excellent answers. Okay, now I need to ask you one of those other pesky questions. Are you seeing the home slide or are you seeing the reflection question on your screen? Can someone either like just unmic? Oh, you're seeing the darn, that's what I was afraid of. Okay. Now, are you seeing that question? Okay, sorry, I was a slide behind because things are interesting with technology world. Okay, so that's the question you just answered, and great answers, everyone. You're absolutely correct on all those fronts. So just to kind of show you this visual, and you don't have to try to read all those numbers because they're super, super small, but there was a study done several years ago by the Gates Foundation to try to identify who is today's college student. Because at one time, a college student was someone who went directly from high school to college and, kind of did that 4 years in a row. And they were just, certain types of people went to college. You might even, have heard people talk about, oh, that's a college bound person. Well, today's college student is everyone, and that is awesome. So what this visual shows, even though, like I said, the numbers are hard to see, is that we have students who aren't just from high school to college, although you might be, that might be the path that you're taking, which is great. But there are some students that have lots of things going on in their lives, and that's probably you, like they're working. Some are working full time. In fact, the visual here tells us that 26% of all college students are working full time while they're taking their college classes, and 36% are working part time. Some of them have families that they're supporting. So that is another thing that's like drawing away from this ability to just be a student. The learning environment, especially today, and this wasn't recent, I mean, it wasn't that recent. It's been a few years ago that the study was done before the pandemic. At that time, there was still a blend of online and in-person learning that was happening. So a student wasn't just someone who resided on the campus and just went to class in person and took classes. There's a split about male and female, which is good because at one time it was only males. Females in the room, I don't know if you knew that at one time college was reserved just for males. So age is, we always think about like younger students being undergrads, but not necessarily. So there's a diversity around age and also race as well. Again, at one time, college was only for white individuals. So thankfully that has changed. So today's college student can be anyone and everyone, and there are so many things that are part of a college student's life beyond just this ability to focus directly on college. So with that in mind, I'm going to show you something depressing, but we're going to tell you how to not be part of this statistic. What could be depressing to you is as you see what the 6-year graduation rate, so not just thinking about a 4-year term, but sometimes students do go beyond that 4 years and it takes maybe 6 years to graduate, and that's within that financial aid eligibility timeframe. So of all the students who start, 59% graduate with their bachelor's degree. That is not, and that's all institutions. And so UMKC would fall into the public institutions realm. And so also our rate, we could expect we fall into that category of about 59%. So let's see, how many of us are in here? Not quite 10, but for every 10 students, that means 6 are going to graduate and 4 are not, based on national statistics. I'm here to tell you that you don't need to be part of the 4 that don't graduate. With getting the appropriate support, regardless of all the things that are going on in your life, you can be a successful student who does get to your goals that you want to get to. And we are here to support that in academic support and mentoring. So let me move into like, what are the services? And I've kind of hinted at some of those as we've gone. I want to really emphasize the 2 red bold words. First of all, everything I'm talking to you about today is free. And in fact, some of the things I'm going to talk to you about actually pay you or provide you some funding. So that's kind of great. So everything's free. And when I say all students, you could expect, okay, well, academic support and mentoring, of course, that's for everyone, but not everyone thinks about, and I could see some of you were from your chat answers, not everyone thinks about the fact that you don't need to wait till you need help to get a partner in your learning, right? You don't have to be like failing or worried about failing or wait till you kind of get behind in something and then say, you know what, I need some help. Now I'm going to tell you, we're here for you if that happens. But instead of thinking about it like a deficit and waiting until you might need help, think about being proactive and think about taking advantage of a free service from day one. Okay, so things that I'm talking to you about are great for you to have a partner in your learning from the very first day of your time at UMKC. You don't have to wait till you're in any kind of danger, and it'll keep you out of that kind of danger. So we're going to breeze through UMKC Tutoring, Writing Studio, RUP Seminars, and Supplemental Instruction. And that is our website. I'm not going to click into it, but we do have an updated website, finally, yay, that actually is really great. If you wanted to jot that down somewhere, it's just basic. It's just the UMKC website /ASM, which stands for, of course, Academic Support and Mentoring. Or if you forget that, you can think last 3 letters of the word enthusiasm, ASM. Okay, so you can go to that website on your own and check some things out. Okay, so UMKC Tutoring is one-on-one peer tutoring, although we do also offer some small group tutoring. And we support all of the courses that you would typically think of as being like the most challenging, right? So some of you mentioned like college is different from high school. Yes, there are going to be some really challenging courses, and some of those you're going to be required to take, even if they're not like your #1 interest area. So we try to make sure that we have support available in the courses that typically cause students the most challenge. And so I just gave you kind of the general realm, but you could go on our website and find out all the courses that we support. We do face-to-face tutoring in that one-on-one environment. In fact, my fake background is our tutoring. Okay, where is it? Okay, my fake background is our tutoring space, which is wonderful in the Atterbury Student Success Center. And so we will be face-to-face next fall, and hopefully that will stay into the future. But we do also offer, and even were before the pandemic, we also offer online or virtual drop-in and appointments as well, so that you don't have to be. Remember that today's college student isn't always right there on campus. They might be commuting in. So we also offer that to provide more flexibility, and for students who just prefer to work with us online. We also have a service called Net Tutor, which is contracted outside of UMKC. So if it's a 2 in the morning thing, I'm sorry, we will not be at the tutoring center, but you could possibly go online and use Net Tutor, which is a service that, as I said, operates outside of the campus. We have hours available 7 days a week, either appointment or drop-in. And I'm not going to click into it, but you can, well, you know what I am. I'll show you this one. we have a virtual lobby on our website. So I have to make sure it showed somewhere. That was what I was afraid of. Okay. You're not seeing it, are you? Are you seeing the virtual lobby? Okay. That's what I was afraid of. Well, trust me, it's amazing. Okay. I'm going to have to move on because I can't figure out how to get that shared, but nonetheless, there's a virtual lobby. And once you get into that lobby, it lets you see like when the hours are, if you wanted to go immediately into a drop-in appointment with, or drop-in session with a tutor, you could do that right from that very space. Okay, my Zoom skills, I'm telling you, they're going to be better in the future. Are you seeing Writing Studio slide? Thank goodness for your great big nods, because I was really going to worry if I couldn't get you there. Okay, so that was tutoring, and then Writing Studio are similar services to tutoring, except really focused in on typically the writing process, right? Writing Studio, but also presentations. So think about anything that you have to prepare, that you have to put words together. The Writing Studio consultants, who are also students, some of them are graduate students. That differs a little bit than what we have in tutoring, because in tutoring, it's undergrads predominantly. But Writing Studio are there to help you all the way through the process. So you kind of notice their slogan there that says visit early, visit often. I would say that's a slogan I would use for our whole department, but I love that they thought of this, because when you first come to UMKC, you're in a class, you get your syllabus, and it says there's a giant paper due on November 4th, and you're like, that's many weeks from now. I am fine. I would advise, instead of being like, I'll work on that on November 3rd, that you would take that idea, that concept that's going to be talked about in the paper, or what you're going to have to do for that paper, and start from that very first couple of weeks of class, or as soon as you know enough to be able to start crafting that paper, to a Writing Studio consultant, and help them work with you all the way from, what is this assignment actually asking of me? What would be the best way to prepare for that? What kind of pre-writing could I do to help me get there, and to have these really fleshed out ideas? So you can see from what I'm talking about, it's not waiting until that last moment and then having someone edit your paper. It's really taking advantage of someone helping you all along the way, having that partner to help you develop your ideas. So that is our Writing Studio, and they're amazing. So 2 locations when we're in person, which we will be in fall. ASSC stands for Atterbury Student Success Center. And then the Miller Nichols Library also has a drop-in space for Writing Studio. In addition, even again, before pandemic, we offered email opportunities, so you can email your paper. I wouldn't recommend that as the only way to contact Writing Studio, but it's one way that you can get connected. And then also they were offering, and still are offering, online video chat appointments as well. They also are offering 7 days a week availability, so that's great as well. Okay, I'm going to pause and see if you have any questions that you want to put in the chat, or just say out loud. If I lost you, if I said something quickly, which is possible, if I contradicted myself, is something I sometimes do accidentally.
So to do the tutoring, do you have to make appointments? That's the only way that you can do the tutoring?
Oh, that is a great question. I'm so glad you asked. No, you can drop in. When I say drop in, I just assumed you knew what that meant. Of course, I didn't explain myself. So you can either do a time that is just a drop-in time for the tutoring center. The challenge with that is you need to drop in during a time that a tutor is available in that subject. So on our website, we have all of that listed. So you can check it out before you just drop in or just show up and say, somebody here to help me. You can either drop in to either tutoring or Writing Studio, or you can make an appointment. Now, I'm going to ask a very easy question, and everyone can put a yes. Let's see, you can put put your answer in the chat. I'm not sure how I'm going to ask it. Here's the easy question. Which will provide you better service, dropping in or making an appointment? Yep, just like the doctor's office, 100% on your quiz. Yes, making an appointment. And when I say better service, it's not that we won't treat you nicely if you drop in. It's just you can't always guarantee that, again, that you're going to have a tutor in that subject. If you make an appointment, you can pick your tutor. So if you start, working with a guy named Joe, and Joe's great, like Joe gets you and Joe helps you, then you can keep making appointments with Joe. I made up Joe. Joe may or may not work for tutoring, but that was a great question. Any other questions so far about tutoring or writing studio? All right, I will move forward. Maybe. We'll move forward. RUP seminars, I'm just going to hit on very briefly. So what we have found is that there are certain kind of fundamental concepts that college students, probably all of us actually, and even on our professional lives tend to struggle with. Time management is an example of something that's not just a college thing, that's like a life thing. Study skills, you can see when I have this currently posted videos, you can see some various topics, taking notes, how to get prepared for finals, how to prepare for class. I didn't know until recently, I'm going to be honest with you, that a student should actually prepare for lecture. You shouldn't just show up, you should actually prepare. Who knew? So those kinds of topics are, we have created short videos. They keep getting shorter and shorter because people's attention spans keep getting shorter and shorter. So we started out about 15 minutes, now we're like down to 5 minutes, but just really good nuggets of information. And we're trying to make them more peer-to-peer because guess what? You don't want to listen to me, you want to listen to a student who really can tell you like from their experience what works well, and also pull in some of that research that we know. And also having some resources available. For example, if you were to access the RUP seminar on creating a study plan, you could listen to the information, but you could also download some templates for creating your own study plan. So we really try to provide the resources that you might need. These are typically optional for you. Well, all of this is pretty much optional. Now through your first semester experience class, you will be required to do certain things to get you exposed to these different services. So some students may kind of leave this on the shelf like, I don't want to spend 5 minutes looking at a video, I'll just wing it. The resources are right here. So as soon as you are a UMKC student, you have a login that enables you to access these RUP seminars and all of the resources that go with them. So I just wanted to mention that to you so that you know that first, we care about you as a student and we want you to have resources, but also that these are just available to you at any time. You could watch them at my favorite time, 2 in the morning. It's not my favorite time, but I use it as an example a lot. Any questions about RUP seminars? I'm seeing this. Okay. So now I'm headed into a topic that has a lot more meat to it because most folks haven't heard about supplemental instruction. UMKC is actually very proud to be the home of the International Center for Supplemental Instruction because this method of peer-to-peer study sessions was created at UMKC in 1973, and we grew into a national center, and now we are an international network, which is pretty awesome. Meaning that our team actually trains on this method. We train institutions all around the country. They either come to us, right now we're of course doing all that online. So it's kind of an important thing to know about UMKC is that we have this wonderful resource. So with us being the International Center for SI, we're really good at SI. We are a flagship program for SI. So you're like, well, what is SI? It is, again, free. Everything's free. Peer facilitated study sessions for historically difficult courses. So like I said, there's a lot of challenging courses at UMKC or any college campus. We look at data, we talk with faculty, and we figure out, okay, what are those classes where if we had SI offered, students could come, they attend a session that's away from the lecture, and their SI leader, who has already taken the course before, already great at the course, is attending class with them, and they're actually planning a session to really help the students with the most challenging content. I said a lot of what's on the screen. I am hoping that my video shares. I am skeptical of my abilities in this session for that working, but you're going to tell me if you're able to hear. This is a really quick video created by some of our SI leaders. Can you hear that? You see it? Need to be louder? Good.
You're going to the SI session today?
I don't even know what SI is.
Well, SI is interactive group learning facilitated by a student leader who has taken the course before and performed well in it.
Did you know that SI started right here at UMKC? We've been so successful that we are the international center and have been implemented at universities across the globe.
SI is offered in classes with high drop rates or classes that are historically more difficult than others.
It is statistically proven that SI can help improve class averages. Students who attend SI regularly tend to see an improvement in their grade by half or whole letter grade compared to students who don't attend.
Each SI leader has 1 to 2 weekly sessions as well as an extended session before the exam. We also have weekly office hours if you'd like more of a one-on-one review. My office hour is right now. Hey, do you think our SI leaders can help us with our homework problems?
Although we would like to assist you, SI leaders are not able to help with graded work. However, UMKC Tutoring would love to help.
When you attend a session, you can expect to be involved in active learning with your peers to review material.
Oh, hey, Nita, we're about to start.
Oh, hey, Nita, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good.
As you can see, SI sessions are interactive and group-oriented. SI leaders are not teaching or tutoring the material, but they are facilitating fun review activities. It has been proven that group learning can help students retain 2.5 more times the information than studying alone. Academic support and mentoring is a free academic enrichment program to help students succeed.
Okay, let's see if I can gracefully get out of this. Oh, goodness. Okay, let me stop sharing for a second, retry that. You guys got a lot of content about SI, and so we call it SI for short. What questions are brought to mind while I'm trying to figure out how to share my screen again? Any questions? So all they do is help review materials. Yeah, we kind of use the word review, which doesn't sound very challenging. But actually what you couldn't see, because they didn't actually do a full session, is that what the activities that the leader plans are going to be focused on the really most challenging content within that challenging course. And it's going to get the students engaged with each other. So review kind of means like go over something. And that's kind of true. I mean, it is true in the sense that you've already had the lecture and now you're coming to the session to reinforce that content. But without doing question and answer, you will get your questions answered. I don't know if that even sounds right. I've never said it that way before. Because you're going to come most likely with these challenging courses, there's going to be things that are in your mind that you're like, I really need help with this concept. The leader's going to hone in without even knowing what your needs are. The leader's going to hone in on what's most likely to be most important to the course. And they have a relationship with the faculty so that they know like this is going to be on the test. This is a really important concept, and they help you prepare for that. So that's a great question because it kind of is a little bit misleading. Like, well, I don't need to review. But if you think about it, like one of the good study habits is to keep familiar with the content all the way through and not just wait and study the night before. SI ensures that you have that opportunity. So that was a really great question. Thank you, Clarice. Appreciate it. Any other questions about SI? Okay. Let me attempt again to be smooth with my presentation, which is I've already blown that. Okay. Are you seeing in large form the video slide? No. Are you seeing benefits of SI for participants? Are the little tiles along the side or the full screen?
The tiles.
The tiles. Okay, I just need to know which screen I'm working from. Perfect. Y'all are my best friends, and I'm sorry for the clunkiness. Okay, so these, and you heard some of these benefits in the video, but SI participants receive lower rates of DSF and withdrawals and they earn higher grades, and they're also more likely to re-enroll and graduate. And because we're the International Center, we have all the data on this, not just for our campus, but for campuses around the world. And this holds true around the world. So I'm here to tell you that if you have a class supported by SI, one, based on what I've just said, you already know that that's going to be like a class that's going to be probably a challenge for everyone. Even if you're an A student, or even if that material is not that hard for you, still reinforcing that's going to be a good thing for you. So come, because even if you're an A student, you're going to have help keeping your A. If you're struggling in the class, you're going to boost that letter grade. A half to a full letter grade is what on average ends up happening for students. So it's a great way to also get connected with your colleagues as well, your students in your class as well, because you are interacting with them. Okay, that was SI. Let me move forward to, this is killing me. And of course I'm recorded, so people in perpetuity get to see me stumbling around with Zoom. Okay, we're going to close out with, I didn't tell you that you were gonna have a quiz, but you are. So if you will, be ready for chat, and let's not do our answers until I say go. So have your answer entered, but not, have your answer in there, but not hit enter until I say, so that you're not looking at other people's things. All right, first question. Which of the following could explain why students need academic support? A, the rigor of classes. B, lack of study skills. C, life factors such as job or family. Or D, all of the above. If you'll enter a letter into the chat. All right, lots of folks are saying D. That is awesome. And I didn't even remember to talk about sometimes study skills. We did talk about high school being different from college, but I didn't even remember to really focus on the fact that, yeah, sometimes folks' study skills aren't all that up to speed. So excellent job for all who said D, and other answers were also correct because, okay. Oh, you're kidding. I didn't fix this. This one's a gimme because I accidentally put the answer into here, but I've got another way to ask you. So Writing Digest is the name of the program to support students through one-with-one consultation at any phase of the writing process. It is not Writing Digest. Unfortunately, the answer is right there for you. But in the chat, will you tell me what our service at UMKC is that supports you through the writing process is? Enter into the chat. What's that called? Close, Clarice. It starts with an S. Writings. Anybody remember? Close. We talked about sessions with SI. Oh, these are all great answers. Writing Studio. Writing Studio is actually the service. Okay. Next one. UMKC Tutoring is available how many days a week? And I didn't talk about this, but it was on the slide. Okay, I've got a 7. True, yes. Students may drop in during specified times during the week. However, we did talk about this. What are preferred and required on weekends? We didn't talk about being required on weekends, but something is preferred. Rather than dropping in, we said what the best way to get service is to make an appointment. Yay. All right. Good job. Why is this doing this? I swear I had these fixed. Okay, true or false? It's false. SI is only for students who are not doing well in the course. That is false. SI is for everyone. It can benefit an A student as well as a student who's struggling. What is the name of the student-centered videos that provide a quick source of information regarding common challenges? Get a Clue Up Seminars, Tune Up Seminars, In Lieu of Seminars, RUP Seminars. See a lot of these. Yeah, it's RUP, but some of those would have been funny. Okay, excellent. I feel good about where we are so far. I'm just going to touch on a few things before you leave me today. So we are academic support, which we've talked about. We are also mentoring. So mentorship programs and resources. We have Jumpstart KC, Summer Bridge Scholars Program, and First Gen RU. So I'm going to whiz through these. Jumpstart KC takes a little longer. That's a lot of content, I know, to soak in. let me just summarize what's here. So Jumpstart KC is a volunteer opportunity through the AmeriCorps program, and that is a nationally known, or it is a national program, federally sponsored, that's really well known with employers. So to be an AmeriCorps volunteer is kind of special, just so you'll know that that could maybe help with a resume, and also is a great way to give back to the community. What Jumpstart KC does is if you would apply to be a volunteer and you were selected, you would be trained and you would always be with another teacher. So it's not like you'd be by yourself, but you'd be working with preschool children to develop their literacy skills. So you get the free training, you get internship credit. And this is one, remember at the beginning, I said everything's free and some things pay you. If you would join Jumpstart KC and do 300 hours of service within a year, you could earn a 1,311. I have no idea why that number is an odd number like that, but that is the amount of the award that you could earn toward your tuition, fees, anything that's part of your UMKC bill. So that is Jumpstart KC. It is an opportunity. It's not required, of course, but just an opportunity for the selected students who do that. And it's not just for early childhood majors. We have students who are future lawyers, accountants, all kinds of professions, engineers. So it can be anyone. It does not just have to be a teacher to be a teacher. Okay. I'll pause. Questions about Jumpstart? Sorry, I'm having to look over here to see y'all. I know my camera's here, but I have to see you over here. All right. So UMKC Summer Bridge Scholars is an opportunity for incoming freshmen who are selected based on, we use the admissions process to help us with this. So Summer Bridge Scholars is really for students who have probably faced some challenges in their high school career and actually may not have, like, I don't know, the best grades in the world, but are still eligible to come to UMKC. And this is a program and a scholarship that's actually just targeted to benefit those particular students. It is a summer-long program. We start out online, we move to on-campus. It is fully paid. So anything related to taking classes, which you do take 2 classes, which is we do 4 credit hours over the summer. So tuition, textbooks, anything related to the experience of you taking classes UMKC is paid for. In addition, there's some really fun things. I know some of these maybe don't look fun, but when I say cultural enrichment activities, that might be a Royals game. When I say community service, which isn't exactly on here, but we do community service as well, that might be working at Harvesters together or doing other projects together. So you really get connected to your cohort of students. We have a cohort of about 40 to 45 students each summer. You really get connected to them. You get a head start on knowing all the things that students need to know before they come to campus. You don't want to like show up day one and like not know things. So this is a great, great program to prepare you for campus. And also learning how to navigate campus, learning the different departments, getting relationships with faculty and with other adults like myself. So all of the Summer Bridge Scholars program is just a wonderful program. Students who are coming to us in the fall through their admissions process should get this information if you are eligible. So if you see an opportunity for a scholarship or something that says Summer Bridge, please check it out. I didn't ask this, but I don't know if you're not to that point, whether you're coming in the fall or whether it's a couple falls from now, but you know, we will have the program. And if you see this information, please take us up on it. At least find out more before you would say no, because it does take your summer, you know, it does fill up a lot of the summer, but it's well worth the time. It is a great, great program. And I will pause for a moment of questions.
So would we find this opportunity, like, would we find that in our pathways? Is that where it would be?
Yes, it would be. I don't know if it looks like Pathway for you or if it looks like Slate. But whenever you get communications from admissions, however that looks for you, it would be an email that you would get that's associated with that. It would come as an email actually. And it would say something like Summer Bridge in the title. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you like feel like you might be eligible but didn't see that information, please feel free to reach out to our department. If you went on our website, you could find who the coordinator is, or you know what, I could just put it in chat right now. You could just email me directly.
What makes you eligible?
It's called, I don't love the term. It's called provisionally admitted. So a student who is, again, probably not like that, you know, probably not the valedictorian of the class, right? But maybe has had like some challenges, maybe just with math or something like that. So students that could really benefit from having an extra boost and learning some of those things that they might need to learn before they come to campus. So it really could benefit anyone, but because we have limited funds, we try to focus those funds on students that are most likely to need the support, just quite honestly, but in a good way. I don't know how to say that without being clunky, but does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, very quickly, because I promised on timeness and I have 2 minutes for on timeness. First Gen RU is also a program that is fully funded. First Gen, what that means is a student whose parents or guardians didn't receive their bachelor's degree in the United States. I was X years old, like in my late somethings, before I realized that, hey, I'm a first gen student. I didn't even realize that because my parents didn't graduate, although I had, they both took some college, but they didn't graduate. So also with first gen, we're looking at like some of the things I talked about with Summer Bridge, coming to campus early, getting, in this case, you get a book stipend. So that's money in your pocket. You get a peer mentor, and that's also something within our Summer Bridge Scholars Program, that you connect with a peer who already is on campus and kind of knows the ropes, that kind of thing. Creating personalized plans. So a lot of the same kinds of concepts are similar between what I described about Summer Bridge and First Gen RU, just a little bit different criteria and different program. First Gen RU scholars come to campus the week prior to the fall semester and stay, like they just move in a week early basically, and get a lot of the same benefits, like I said, but not throughout the whole summer that a Summer Bridge scholar would get. So it's a great program. Again, that would come through your admissions process as well. It would let you know based on questions that you answer whether you are eligible to be a First Gen RU scholar. All right, I am right on time. I'm going to ask one more thing as you are leaving me. We'll just do, I'm going to let you do a 1-1-1 and only put one of these ones into the chat. So what is one fact you learned, or a thing that surprised or delighted you, or an action you plan to take? So if you would just put into the chat, just say learned or surprised or action, and you can say, hey, appointments are better than showing up. Oh yes, Becca, with the First Gen RU, those who accept the program do move to campus 1 week prior to everyone else and get to move right in. So it is definitely an advantage. Yeah. SI. Is that, Clarice, was that your surprise and delight?
Yeah, I thought that was like cool how you can like have, like you can interact with students who are like studying in class.
I'm glad you got that from that. Check out a tutor, mentor, and SI. Excellent. Plenty of opportunities. Love it. Love it. Yeah, Summer Bridge, pretty cool thing. We want to invest in you. All right. I appreciate you very much, especially the feedback around my like positive feedback and help regarding which screen I was sharing and when. You have been a delight. I hope that you have learned a lot about academic support and mentoring, and I hope that you'll come to UMKC because I really want to meet you in person. So thanks so much for being here, and have a great rest of the day.
You as well.
Thank you.